Hello everyone and welcome to Blaugrana Everything, and welcome back to the channel and to a match review of Sunday night's Euro 2020 final. And well, to put it in the words of Leonardo Bonucci,
it's coming through! It's coming through!
In what was a very evenly contested encounter, which is really what one would be expecting at this level, Italy came back from a go down to ultimately beat England 3-2 on penalties and to lift what is only their second ever Euro title. So for those who are new here, I will just quickly explain to you how match reviews are handled on this channel. We'll start by taking a look at how the teams lined up, then we'll talk about team performances on the night, looking at what went wrong and what went right, and finally I'll give you my pick for man of the match. A quick reminder to hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video. Let's go ahead and look at how the two teams set up. Italy set up as we expected in their favored 4-3-3 formation with the following players. In goes Gianluigi Donnarumma, a back four of Emerson, Chiellini, Bonucci and Di Lorenzo, with Verratti, Jorginho and Barella in the midfield, and a front three of Insigne, Immobile and Chiesa. England, on the other hand, set up in a 3-4-2-1 with Pickford in goals, a back three of John Stones, Harry Maguire and Kyle Walker, with Luke Shaw and Kieran Trippier in the fullback areas, and a midfield duo of Rice and Phillips like we've seen all tournament long, and a front three, well, two and then one, of Sterling, Mount and Harry Kane. Let's now briefly look at how the two teams performed in this game. It did not take very long for this final to spring into life, which was a bit of a shocker for me, because just right from kickoff there was a lot of energy and tension in the air. Harry Maguire looked to have been suffering a bout of nerves early on, as his first touch was to give away a cheap corner kick to Italy. However, the result of that corner kick was a beautifully worked counter-attack that culminated in Kieran Trippier crossing a ball over to Luke Shaw, who scored the fastest ever goal in a Euro final after just 2 minutes. Italy then spent the next 20 minutes or so of the first half looking like a collective bundle of nerves. England continued to burst forward as Italy didn't seem to have an answer for the questions that Luke Shaw and Kieran Trippier were asking of them in the early exchanges. Italy needed some last-ditch defending as well to clear the lines on at least 2 occasions I can remember. First, to clear another dangerous ball that was played in by Trippier after him and Kyle Walker made a lovely connection down the right. Later, it was to stop Sterling and Mount from linking up on the break. Eventually though, the Italians finally settled in, and England, for one reason or another, decided to start playing within themselves as Trippier and Shaw, who had been wreaking havoc for the early parts of the first half, started to sit really deep, settling in something like a back five for England. Italy were of course happy to accept the invitation to camp in England's half, and as the first half progressed, Verratti, Jorginho and particularly Chiesa started to grow into the match, and Chiesa then came within about a foot of scoring a proper golazo as he flashed a vicious shot just wide of Jordan Pickford's left-hand post. The first half soon came to an end with Italy looking to have established a foothold in the game. That trend continued into the second half as Italy really settled into the match and set about the task of breaking down an England team that set themselves up in a deep block. Italy's advantage was then further pressed home by the substitutions Mancini made 10 minutes into the second half. Much like he had in the second part of the first half, Chiesa continued to look like a lively spark for Italy as he probed and tested the English defenders, took a brilliant save by Pickford to deny him getting on the score sheet, and a few minutes later it was Chiesa once again who whipped a devilish ball into the box that forced Maguire to give away a corner kick, and this time around Italy were able to take advantage of the set piece as Verratti first forced a brilliant save from Pickford. Unfortunately though for the England shotstopper, the shot he parried onto the post fell right at the feet of Leonardo Bonucci, who drew Italy level just shy of the 70th minute mark. Italy then had a great opportunity to take the lead as one of Mancini's second half substitutes, Berardi, found himself played clean through, but Pickford did well to rush his shot, which he volleyed over the crossbar. The rest of the half went by with very little happening to trouble either goalkeeper, and the match drifted into extra time. Extra time was itself a borderline cagey affair, as both teams weren't particularly enterprising on the ball. For Italy, it had more to do with the fact that Chiesa had to be substituted as he came off 5 minutes before the end of normal time, replaced by his fellow Federico Bernardeschi. For England, they seem to have been hindered by the lack of fresh legs or fresh ideas, as neither Saka nor Grealish were able to have the sort of effect that Southgate had been banking on. With nothing doing for either team, extra time soon came to an end, and the two teams were faced with the dreaded penalty shootout. And it was just shy of the end of extra time that Gareth Southgate threw on Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho for the purpose of, scoring penalties. Anyway, England looked to have grabbed the initiative after the first 4 kicks of the shootout, as both Kane and Maguire converted their spot kicks, giving Donnarumma very little chance. Belotti meanwhile failed to emulate the success of Berardi, as Pickford saved his attempt. Unfortunately for England though, that was as good as it would get, as Rashford and Sancho were unable to convert their penalties despite being subbed on to score the penalties, whilst Bonucci and Bernardeschi tucked theirs away to give Italy the initiative going into the final 2 spot kicks. Semi-final hero Jorginho was then denied by a Jordan Pickford save, but unfortunately whatever hopes Pickford kept alive was snuffed out by the towering figure of Gianluigi Donnarumma, as he saved Bukayo Saka's first ever career penalty kick, which did turn out to be kind of a tame effort. So where exactly did it go wrong for England? Where did it go right for Italy? Well, looking back at the entire encounter, you can't help but shake the feeling that the match was decided by the big difference in experience between the two managers. I singled out the battle between Southgate and Mancini as being key to how this encounter would play out, and that's exactly what I feel happened here. England could have and should have put the game beyond Italy during that first half. Unfortunately, they failed to press home their advantage when they had it, allowing Italy to grow into the game by sitting deep and looking to protect their 1-goal lead. By the time it was apparent that Italy were running the game and firmly in the driver's seat, not only had Italy already equalized, but Mancini had also taken the upper hand firmly, and Southgate really just watched his attempts go in vain as he tried to alter the match with some substitutions and a change in shape. It would be all the more frustrating for the English knowing that in Grealish, Rashford and Sancho, Southgate had all the right tools to put Italy on the back foot had he chosen to bring them on right after Italy equalized, or even as late as the beginning of the second half of extra time. Anywho, I now have the tricky task of picking a man of the match. Italy's victory was greatly facilitated by solid performances from the two elder statesmen at the heart of their defense. The nerds who keep track of stats were saying before the match that nobody had dribbled past Chiellini or Bonucci during this entire tournament, and I don't really need to even check with them to confirm that said stats remained intact after Sunday night's match. I mean, Chiellini definitely made sure of that, right, Saka? That moment of meme history aside, the Italian captain was basically faultless all night as he put in an almighty shift that saw him full of running even deep into the second half of extra time. And fortunately for him, he gets edged out by his teammate and brother from another mother, Leonardo Bonucci. Not only did Bonucci score the equalizer that took the game 2 penalties, but he also dispatched a very high pressure penalty that brought Italy back in the shootout like he had ice in his veins. Not that a penalty is something that could ever faze a man who punched and pursued an assailant that was armed with a gun. A freaking gun. Honorable mention though here also goes to ice cold Gigi Donnarumma, who couldn't be bothered to even celebrate his save on Saka. But yeah, my man of the match of the night was Leonardo Bonucci. Well, that does it for my match review, ladies and gentlemen. What were your thoughts on the match? Who was your man of the match? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, and Bonucci, take it away.
It's